Hello, Kim Townsel here. I'm going to tell you what happened to me at Tactical Response's fighting pistol class. We shot while moving. We shot with people right beside us. We reloaded without looking at our pistols. Our magazines, our ammo got wet and muddy, and we shot anyway. We shot under stress with people yelling around us and sometimes at us. We heard things like, "Keep moving, be still and be easy to kill. Get your finger off the trigger. Why is your gun unloaded? Are you afraid to get your pistol dirty? Have a magazine in your hand before you eject one from your pistol. You all shot better with your offhand than you did your good hand. Reload and rehydrate. Are you willing to miss by a few inches and kill an innocent?" And all of that was beneficial for our training. This is the gear I took. It was making this video too long, so it's on a separate video. Yeager wants us all to read The Principles of Personal Defense by Jeff Cooper before we come for training. I encourage you. In the spring of 2016, I was encouraged to take fighting pistol. I had been watching James Yeager's videos on YouTube for a long time and learning from them. I thought, wow, that's really interesting. But I didn't think I was a candidate for taking a class. I didn't think I was ready. While I was very comfortable with my pistols, but not my 9mm, I do a little bit of shooting, as you can tell. Inanimate objects. I have a lot of land. I didn't think I was ready to take a tactical class. I'd like to stand in the backyard and shoot at things that don't move. But I didn't know anything about tactical drills. But I looked at my calendar and saw that I had the time open for the fighting pistol class and thought, well, I'll just see if there's a spot left, and if there is, I will make it happen. I had less than a week to prepare, so I frantically ran around trying to get the things the list that I needed for the class, and I ended up getting everything. Everything came in before the class, so it was just one of those things that was meant to be. So I got my portable food and got a spot in the team room and headed to Camden. My friends were posting pictures of their toes in the sand, so I just posted one with my toes in the Camden air. The instructors for the class were Dave Biggers, Calvin Lim, Jay Gibson, Tim Morris, Jordan Winkler, and there was an adjunct teacher named Brian. There were maybe about 25 or 30 people in the class. We had 2 teams. I was one of the 3 women in the class and the only female newbie. One team was on the firing line with half of the instructors, while the other half of the team reloaded, rehydrated, and received table instruction from the other instructors. It worked out perfectly. We had little downtime at all. We had completely just full days of instruction and time on the range. To avoid needing one of these, when we got on the range, we went over the medical and safety. We were shown where the medical kit was. We identified persons who had medical skills. We learned how to get to the hospital if need be. A vehicle was identified that was pointed towards the road, that was not blocked in, that had keys in it in case we needed to drive an emergency to the hospital. And we were continually reminded to keep our finger off the trigger and the muzzle pointed in a safe direction when we're not on the line. I had a friend bring this over for me to shoot. People always bringing things over for me to shoot, and I do have some functional alcoholic friends who bring bottles over here for me to shoot as well. This is the handbook that I got for my class, and the homework is on the back cover. We do have homework for these classes. This is the certificate I have. The rubber band is so that people can't print it off and mark my name out. The weather conditions, the first day we had freezing rain and mud. I learned that my little SIG and my SIG magazines worked just fine while they were wet and muddy. The first half of the day that we were on the range was just really cold and wet. I was soaked even through my Frog Togs jacket. I was so cold that my teeth were chattering and my hands were shaking. Really, it was that cold. I just needed to go get some hot food at lunch and try to thaw out a little bit. I knew that when I came back for advanced fighting pistol later on that summer, I was bringing some washcloths, some towels, and some extra clothes, because I ended up having to change clothes at lunch because I was just so wet and so cold. But I learned that I can shoot when I'm cold and wet, and that my equipment works when it's wet and muddy. This strain was more than he could bear. I want to talk about some other things that I learned during fighting pistol, and I have these written down, so I'll be reading. So that's why my eyes are going back and forth. My grip was weak. I learned how to properly grip the gun with both hands, holding tighter with my left hand to improve my accuracy. I worried about hand fatigue from shooting a very tiny gun, about 1,000 rounds in 2 days, but I experienced no discomfort or fatigue at all from the gun, which I was very happy about. And honestly, I couldn't even rack this gun very well before I went to fighting pistol, and I had absolutely zero confidence in my ability to use this gun as my everyday carry. The finger off the trigger. I knew that this was a safety feature. I knew this because I've been raised around guns my whole life, but it was not fully tattooed in my brain during tactical drills. I embarrassed myself by forgetting this, and I was kindly yet sternly reminded by the instructors. Thank you, sirs. The confidence with my 9mm. Before I had taken this class to fighting pistol, I had only shot my 9mm 3 times. I was not confident at all with this gun to be my everyday carry. So after this class, I immediately took out my pistol that I had been carrying as my everyday carry, and immediately started carrying my SIG P290 9mm because I'm just that confident with it. Not only did I gain confidence with this pistol, but when I got home, I found out that my son had sent me these awesome Mother's Day presents, and I'm going to show you that in a photo in just a moment. But I'll show you like what I did with my pistol. The drills that we did, we drew from a holster, we yelled a warning to the threat, we fired, we reloaded without taking our eyes off of the target, we scanned for other threats, and then once the situation was safe, we reholstered. We did the same from standing, kneeling, sitting prone. We did the same from close range, and we did the same from movement in a static area. We did a lot of drills. They build on each other. They did the scaffolding, which is excellent teaching, where you learn something and you add something to that skill. And I think everybody just did well. The instructors were almost just, it felt like they were one-on-one with you all the time. It seemed like there was always somebody there correcting, giving advice, helping us with whatever problems that we had. We also learned how to fix malfunctions. One reason why I was very hesitant about getting a semi-automatic pistol as an everyday carry was that every single time I'd ever gone shooting with some of my friends who were teaching me how to shoot, we had a malfunction, and they just stumbled around trying to clear the gun. Well, I'm only 5'2" and 114 pounds, and I don't really want to pistol whip somebody with a gun unless I'm out of ammo, and I would rather know how to fix a malfunction. But no one could teach me how to do that. In fighting pistol, they taught us how to deal with all of the malfunctions, and we deliberately caused those malfunctions to happen to our ammo so that we could practice dealing with those. That was the amazing thing to me. I've never even heard of that. That was just probably the best thing that I learned there. That's what gave me confidence that if my gun has a malfunction, that I'm able to fix that and know what it is, and not just go into panic mode and try to pistol whip or throw the gun at somebody. Another big thing for me was the trust that I gained in my classmates. I'm usually in my backyard or on family property shooting my gun at things that don't move, and I'm usually by myself or people are behind me when I'm shooting. I'm not used to standing beside people when we shoot. I've gone to the firing range a couple of times, and it is a little unnerving to me to stand there. But when we went to fighting pistol, you're standing there with nothing in between you and your classmates. It was something I had to quickly get used to. After the first couple of drills, I was able to focus on my targets and my scans and trust that my teammates were handling their business. I didn't feel afraid out there. It was just something that I had to get my mind wrapped around it, and I quickly did. I think that helped me with confidence and working with good guys who share a common goal. I never felt afraid out there. I've never felt afraid at any gun range or with my family when we're shooting, because we're just safe handlers like that. And I've been at gun ranges where we've had a wide diversity of people, and I've only seen one person, and it was a child, handle a firearm in a method I thought was a little iffy. I also stayed in the team room when I went for fighting pistol, but I'm making another video about that, so you'll just have to watch that one to see what happened about that. But I loved taking fighting pistol. I'm glad really that I only had a week to prepare for it, because I just was frantically trying to get all of the things that I needed for the class and didn't have too much time to worry about it or go into panic mode. I just took care of it and drove up there and showed up, which is probably what needed to happen. If you are remotely thinking about taking this class and you have the money for it, just do it. Just do it. You will not be sorry. I've never talked to anyone who's taken a class at Tactical Response that didn't enjoy it. However, if your gun is so precious to you, and your magazines are so precious to you, and your ammo is so precious to you that you can't get it dirty or can't get it wet or can't get it scratched, you probably need to stay at home. Or you can come over here and shoot at my inanimate objects, because if your tool of protection is not going to serve you in adverse conditions, then it's probably not going to serve you in an emergency. So get over that whole mindset that you've got something that you've got to like keep virginally clean and beautiful and protected. It is a tool of protection. That is what we need to learn how to use them as tools of protection. When I came home from Fighting Pistol, I found these items from Dylan and Michelle: the hostage targets and the best grandma ever coffee mug. I couldn't resist. I put the target up, and this is my first attempt from 15 feet with my SIG P290 9mm. I never would have had the confidence to even try something like this before taking Fighting Pistol. Make sure you eat at Old West Steakhouse. I'm sure you will. It's right beside Tactical Response. They have good, hot Southern food. This was one of the meals I got when I was so cold. Also, they told me that I would be really tired each day after our training sessions, but I ended up walking for about 45 minutes around the neighborhood both days. I actually drove home from Camden and the morning after the second day of Fighting Pistol and went straight to the gym and worked out. I still had on my Camden boots. I know that looks awful. People tell me. I'm 5'2". I weigh 114 pounds, give or take, and I'm pretty old. If I can take Fighting Pistol and Advanced Fighting Pistol and be fine with it, there's absolutely no reason why you can't take Fighting Pistol and Advanced Fighting Pistol, and you should. I don't believe in zombies, but you shouldn't be afraid of zombies, whether you believe in them or not, for a lot of reasons. Bye. I have a review for Fighting Pistol up on Tactical Response's website. If you read this one, it's from me. One's mindset and skill set may be the only resources available in some situations. For me, this class improved both. Extremely satisfied. Effective and efficient use of time. We trained in a cold downpour in mud, which strengthened the resolve to perform in less than optimal conditions. Look forward to continuing my training with Advanced Fighting Pistol and Alumni Weekend in July. Please come to Tactical Response and train. You won't be sorry. Thanks for watching.